Yes guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode number 10 of the EAFC 26 career mode here with West Ham United. Double figures in terms of episodes, and we start off with a massive game, possibly our biggest game of the season so far, the second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final, away from home at the City Ground against Nottingham Forest. If you watched the last episode, you will know that we did win that game 3-2 to take into this second leg. We were 2-0 down in that one, managed to pull it back to 2-2 and then did manage to get the winner to bring the scores into 3-2 and obviously give us a massive advantage going into this away leg. And we knew it was going to be difficult away from home, a decent Nottingham Forest side who were 1-0 down on aggregates. We knew we were going to have to really play compact, and we knew that, to be fair, there probably wasn't going to be many highlights from us because we knew our job was just to defend the lead that we had in place at the minute and get through to the final of the Carabao Cup, and that is pretty much how the game went. To give a little bit of a spoiler, Forest were the team on top, only 2 chances, one for either team in that first half, but obviously as the second half came in, players started tiring out and we knew the game was going to open up, and that's when Forest were really going to try and take advantage of it. A decent chance there for Morgan Gibbs-White, but fortunately saved by Areola in our goal. But we carried on trying to get our own chances. Good play there by Ben White, a good ball into Fernandes. Fernandes gets past the defender, a good shot there, but a decent save by Matt Sells to tip it around the post for a corner kick. And then from a resulting corner, it's the youngster Lewis Guillaume, swings it in with his left foot, falls into Al-Hajj Malik Diouf, finally falls into Fulkrug, but definitely should be getting out on target. Unfortunately hit it wide of a post and the ball stayed out the back of the net and kept the scores at 0-0. And then about an hour into the game, a really good chance once again for Fulkrug, played in by Jarrod Bowen from the right hand side, but once again saved by Matt Sells. And then Forest got a chance of their own, decent shot from range by Chris Wood, not one of his trademark shots in terms of a long ranger, but a decent shot from him, but a good save from Areola. And then from a resulting corner, a new boy for Nottingham Forest, Leandro Trossard, plays it short into Anderson. Ben White manages to make the tackle, puts it out for another corner, and it's Trossard again, the ex-Arsenal player, swinging the ball in. Milenkovic gets the header, but a poor header from the Serbian, and puts it wide of a post to keep the scores at 0-0. I mean, it was an opportunity to give a debut to Arsenio Sardio. You'll remember from last episode we promoted him from the youth team, and this is his debut, coming on for the last sort of 25 or 20 minutes of the game against Forest, and we did bring some more substitutions in. Lukaku was one of those, a good opportunity there for him, but unfortunately straight over goalkeeper. And the final chance of the game, Morgan Gibbs-White plays through, gets a decent shot on the outside of his right foot, but easily saved by Areola, and that was that fifth game. So like I said, a bit of a cagey affair. We knew we just had to defend in this one, and defend we did. A 0-0 draw on the night, a 3-2 win overall in aggregate, and West Ham United are into the Carabao Cup final and a first chance of silverware in our first season at the helm of West Ham United, and that's really good. Obviously we've been poor in the league this season, but the Carabao Cup's really what's driven us on this season so far, and you'll see we're facing our old foes, Tottenham Hotspurs. They also won 3-2 on aggregate against Brentford, and it'll be West Ham United versus Tottenham Hotspur at Wembley Stadium for the Carabao Cup final. But a lot more to come between now and then, and the first of those was a message from Sardio, obviously happy just to make his debut as a youngster, and we obviously told him keep working hard, keep staying focused, and the opportunities will come. And then a bit of a worse message from Jarrod Bowen here, mentioned that obviously the club aren't meeting the demands of the players, we're not motivated to win anything, which is a strange thing to say off the back of a semi-final win, but there we go. But we know obviously the results across the board, across all competitions, haven't been great, so Jarrod Bowen's definitely in his right to say that. And then a message from Max Kilman saying that he wants to obviously discuss his contract with us. I was honest with him, I said, listen mate, I completely forgot about the contract situation, so let's get onto it now. And that's exactly what we did. We did enter negotiations for Max Kilman. You can say he's not on a bad wage, but he mentioned in his message that he wants to be on a higher wage to match the highest wage players in the club. But he's on 51 grand a week, which to be honest I don't think is too bad, but obviously we don't want to lose him or sort of cause any problems within the team, so we did agree to enter negotiations for him. We said obviously he was going to be an important player, no extension, he's already got a 5.5 year deal, so we don't obviously want to make that longer, and we did say we didn't want a release clause in there. But then Max Kilman came with a massive offer to more than double his wages to £115,000 a week, which, I'm not being funny, we weren't in a position, and Max Kilman is definitely not the player at 28 years old and 78 road to be demanding double his wage at this stage of the game, and he's not even in our first team squad all the time, to be fair. So we offered a bit of a lower tie, about 10 grand increase on his current wage, but Max Kilman said no, and unfortunately those negotiations didn't end or didn't take very long to end. You'd have seen if we had have accepted that, he would have become our second highest earner behind Ben White, more than Lukaku, more than Jarrod Bowen, more than Paqueta. So you can see, I think we were the sensible ones there, not accepting that one. And obviously Max Kilman, we still got him contracted for 5 and a bit years, so there's still plenty more life in him unless he hands in transfer request. And like I say, he's not even really playing too often at the minute anyway, so we're not too disheartened with that one, and obviously hopefully we'll be able to see how that one progresses going forward. But we go into the second game of the episode away from home, this time against newly promoted Burnley at Turf Moor. And if you remember a few episodes ago, in the home game against Burnley, This was probably the biggest shock result of the whole season. We actually lost that one 6-1 at home to Burnley, so we definitely didn't want a repeat of that. But we knew away from home, poor conditions in Burnley as well. We knew it wasn't going to be an easy game for us to navigate, and the first chance did fall to Burnley. Anthony getting a good shot, but a good save from Hermansen in our goal. And then from the corner, it's Anthony once again who picks up ball, swings one in towards Josh Loren, but a good save from the West Ham goalkeeper Hermansen to tip that one round the post and put it back out for another corner. Marcus Edwards swings this one long this time towards Josh Loren again. Fortunately, Lukaku wins a header, but it does get recycled. Falls to Vlasic. Vlasic turns his man, looks to get the shot away, but another good save from Hermansen once again on that right hand side of his to tip it out for another corner. And then another corner coming in. Marcus Edwards once again swings it in. Ekdal tries to get it. Paqueta's one who gets it. It falls to Pires. Pires looks to beat Lukaku, does beat him. Ball falls to Josh Loren, and then a decent shot from Josh Loren. Plays it in the inside of the post, and it does beat Hermansen and does give Burnley a 1-0 lead with less than 10 minutes of this game already gone. So we knew it was going to be difficult at the start, and it's going to be even more difficult now that we are 1-0 down. But about 15 minutes later, we did get a chance for ourselves. A good ball in. El Hadj Malik Diouf down that left-hand side plays into Lukaku. Lukaku absolutely smashes that one in off the underside of the crossbar, off the floor, back into the roof of the net, and Lukaku gets his first goal of the game, his third goal in his fourth appearance for us in the league this season. And I think it's been an absolute inspirational signing, to be fair. We knew he was older, we knew he's not going to have too many years left in him at the top level, but he was a player we knew could deliver for us, and he's currently sticking to that, and he is delivering. But it didn't take long, unfortunately, for Burnley to get themselves back in the lead, and it's a man who scored all 6 goals in the home game that has scored once again. Zeki Amdouni with his first goal of this game. Like I say, he scored all 6 goals of Burnley's ones at the London Stadium, so we knew that he was going to be a threat, and he proved that to be with that first goal. But we managed to get them back into the game pretty much straight away, to be fair. Lucas Paqueta with a really good goal, his 6th goal of the season, and really interesting first half minute. 2-2 with just 35 minutes in the game, and it's Amdouni once again looking to get his 2nd of the game, but fortunately Hermansen was there, stuck an arm out and kept ball up back of the net to make the scores 2-2 going into half time. But in the second half, Burnley got the first opportunity. It falls to Josh Cullen. Josh Cullen, really nice turn, to be fair, to beat Ben White. Gets a okay shot away, but it's Hermansen once again there to catch a ball. And then just a couple of minutes later, it's our turn to attack. Somerville plays it into Lukaku. Lukaku cuts inside his man, gets a good shot, but unfortunately straight of the goalkeeper and kept out by the Burnley goalkeeper. Either side of him, and that would have gone in, but unfortunately he hit it straight of the goalkeeper, and the scores did stay at 2-2. And then we kept the clip running. Burnley met the counter-attack. It falls into Amdouni. Wan-Bissaka's looking to cover. He can't quite get the tackle in, and unfortunately Amdouni does fire that one in to give Burnley the lead for the 3rd time in this game. And Amdouni has got his 2nd goal in double figures of the season for himself, with 8 of those coming against us, which isn't a good stat, and I shouldn't laugh, but all you can do is laugh. So Burnley do have a 3-2 lead, and then Amdouni does manage to get his hat-trick once again against West Ham. So that's 3 hat-tricks in 2 games against us, 9 goals overall against us this season, 9 of his 11 goals this season coming against West Ham, and Amdouni does get the hat-trick to give Burnley the 4-2 lead. I mean, just before the game does fall out, Lukaku plays into Bowen. Bowen gets a good shot, but a good save once again from the Burnley goalkeeper, and the scores did end 4-2, which obviously did change our job security to insecure. And we did get a message from Brighton saying they need Igor Julio to be playing a few more games in order to keep him on loan. And then just obviously off the back of that security change, you can see we are rock bottom of the Premier League, 13 points in 20th place, 6 points off the safe positions, which is Burnley at the minute. And it looks worse than it is, and 6 points is ultimately only 2 wins. I know in the form we're in, 2 wins does seem quite a lot, but it's definitely a position we can get to, and we look to start that in this game against Manchester United. Manchester United, obviously a massive club in the grand scheme of things, not quite performing as well as they have done historically, both in real life obviously and in the game currently. And we knew if we wanted to obviously clear those relegation spots, we need to really dig in, we need to give our best in these games, playing a 4-1-2-1-2, and the main man Lukaku against his former club, looking to get a bit of revenge on them, and hopefully he can drill us to at least a point, if not a victory in this game, to get us a win over Manchester United and start climbing us back up that table and towards those safe places. And it was ourselves who got the first opportunity just 15 minutes into the game. It's Manchester United who gets first opportunity. Don't know what I'm talking about. Ball falls to Sesko in the end, and he gets a shot, but a good save from Hermansen. And then it's Sesko once again, plays into Mbeumo, and Mbeumo with a good shot. The ball hits the underside of Hermansen and just rolls just wide of a post in these poor conditions to keep the score at 0-0. And then the outswinging corner, should I say, from Mason Mount does come in towards that man Sesko again. A good shot, or a good header from him, but once again Hermansen reacted well and kept ball out back of the net. But then it was our turn. Lukaku into Diouf. Juve plays back into Lukaku. Lukaku looks to get a little chip over goalkeeper, but unfortunately he closed him down well and the ball did set back of the net. So 0-0 at half time, which, like I say, against a team like Manchester United is definitely not a bad place to be in, but we knew they were going to come on to us in this second half, and that did start with that shot from Cunha. Once again Hermansen was there, made himself big, spread himself well and kept the ball out back of the net, and then from a resulting corner, the ball does get cleared by us. It falls to Jared Bowen. Jared Bowen up against Dorgu, who cuts back onto his left foot, sees the run of Lukaku. A great ball over top, to be fair, from Jared Bowen. Lukaku uses the spin of the ball, breaks through, and Romelu Lukaku does open the scoring for us against a run of play, to be fair, but against his former club. And Romelu Lukaku gets his 4th goal in 5 games to give us a 1-0 lead against the Giants for our Manchester United. But unfortunately, Manchester United, they obviously were going to keep on attacking against us, and it's Sesko who gets another good opportunity, fingertips by Hermansen to keep that one out and put it behind and put it to safety. But then we did get another opportunity here. Bowen with a quick flick into Lukaku, and Lukaku drives forward. This is what he does best, looking to get a second of the game, puts the ball on his right foot, decent shot and straight past Manchester United goalkeeper. And once again, against the run of play, we do manage to actually build a 2-0 lead. Both goals coming from Lukaku, the ex-Manchester United player, so he'll be buzzing with that one. And obviously all we need to do now is defend and try and keep the victory in our hands. But Manchester United did manage to pull one back here, straight from kick-off. Ball falls to Mbeumo in the end, and he gets a good shot on that left foot of his, puts it straight past Hermansen. So as quick as we went 2-0 up, Manchester United pulled one back, half the scores, and the scores did go 2-2-1. And then not too soon after that, it's Matheus Cunha cuts onto his right foot, and to be fair, that's an unbelievable finish from Matheus Cunha. Really nice finesse shot into that top corner to give Manchester United the 2-2 draw at this stage. So obviously going from 2-0 up and within 10 minutes being at 2-2 isn't a good thing for us, and we needed to fight back to try and keep the victory. But unfortunately it was Manchester United who took or made the most of the opportunity, and it's their local hero Kobbie Mainoo gets the ball and just curls one in with that left foot of his past goalkeeper to give Manchester United a 3-2 lead. Now it was our job to be the ones chasing and try and get a goal back, and it was Jared Bowen who had the best opportunity. Good shot of his left foot, but a good save from the goalkeeper to keep the ball out, and the scores did end 3-2 unfortunately. But we did decide to promote another player from the youth academy into the team in Reece Prince for centre back, and the reason for that is we have the FA Cup game against Wycombe Wanderers, which we wanted to obviously start a couple of younger players who aren't playing so much at the minute. Prince starts in centre back in that 3-back formation. Sadio starts on that left hand side for his first start for the club as well. And against a team like Wycombe, again, no disrespect to them, but we felt like we should have enough quality to be able to beat them, even with the youngsters sprinkled in. And West Ham are a team that's built on their youth academy. You think of players like Frank Lampard, Michael Carrick, Rio Ferdinand, and there's plenty more out there, Joe Cole, Jermaine Defoe, and anyone else I've missed. They're built on young players, so we wanted to obviously build that into our career, and hopefully they can go on to be really good players for us. But against the odds, Wycombe took the lead. 3 minutes in, Scowen, I don't know how he did that, a really nice finish from about 30 yards out. It just loops over Areola and our goal, and Scowen manages to give Wycombe a really surprising 1-0 lead just 4 minutes into the game, and their fans obviously at home for them are absolutely buzzing. But it didn't take us long to get back into this one. Magassa gets a good shot there with his right foot, but a good save from the Wycombe goalkeeper to push it around the post for a corner kick. And then Luis Guilherme, the young Brazilian, swings one in that left foot. Wilson looks to get the header, can't quite get there. The ball eventually falls to the Wycombe player. Potts manages to dispossess him, plays it into Luis Guilherme on his right foot, rifles one on his weaker right foot, should I say, smashes it into that corner and brings the scores back to 1-1 inside 7 minutes. So we were only behind for 4 minutes, and now we can reset and hopefully go on and build better things in this game. And it's George Urphy, plays a really nice ball into Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson's got the composure, he's got the quality and the experience, and just steers that one in with that left foot of his to get us to the 2-1 lead, the lead for the first time in this game. And Callum Wilson is up and running in our FA Cup run, and hopefully he can get plenty more throughout this. But Wycombe, they didn't really have too many opportunities after that first goal. A bit of a lucky goal, if we're being honest. A good shot there from their attacker, but a little bit weak, and then a mistake from Areola, plays it straight back into their attacker. He tries to chip it but couldn't quite get the angle on it, and it did go behind for a goal kick. And then just 5 or 10 minutes before half time, it's that man, the youngster George Urphy. He's been rejecting our contract offers, but he's still giving it all for the club, and he gets a goal to put us in a 3-1 lead, his first goal in the FA Cup in his second game. And at a 3-1 lead, should I say, we should be fairly comfortable. But before half time, we did manage to make it 4. That man once again, Callum Wilson, composed in front of goal, just slots it under the goalkeeper. And like I say, going into half-time with a 4-1 lead, we were confident in this second half. We could definitely keep the scores at 4-1, if not build on it, but definitely not lose it. And we've got a chance with a youngster, Sadio, on his first start for club, looking to get his first goal. Decent shot, unfortunately saved by the goalkeeper and tipped around the post for a corner kick. So the youngster, Freddie Potts, swings it in with his right foot, looks for Magassa, can't quite get it to Magassa. The ball falls eventually to Luis Guilherme. Decent shot, but nothing really too much special about it. Straight over the goalkeeper and kept out the back of the net. And unfortunately from that, Luis Guilherme actually did pick up an injury, so we'll have to check after the game to see how severe that is and how long he's going to be out for. But Wycombe came back into the game a little bit. A decent shot there from Bell, but a really good save from Areola. One you would probably expect him to make, but a good shot from Bell for Wycombe. And then from the corner, it falls into Fink. Fink can't quite do anything with it. It falls to Grimmer, but unfortunately for him, it just goes wide of the post, and the scores do stay at 4-1. And then about 15 minutes before the end, they get another really good chance. Woodrow picks the ball up, another mistake from Areola in this game, and Woodrow puts it in to get second goal for Wycombe Wanderers and to bring the scores at 2-4-2. Like I say, once again, 2 mistakes in this game for Areola, so definitely one we'll have to keep an eye on going forward. But we got another opportunity. George Earthy couldn't quite get to that one. The ball eventually falls to Magassa, falls to Potts, falls to Callum Wilson, looking to get his hat-trick, but good reaction save from a goalkeeper to keep that one out back of the net, and Callum Wilson is denied his hat-trick in this game. And then from a resulting corner, Magassa wins a header, falls to Callum Wilson once again, another chance for a hat-trick, but unfortunately just whiskers past the post and hits the side netting to keep the scores as they are. And then about 5 minutes before the end, unfortunately it's the youngster Reece Prince on his debut for us who gives away a penalty. I do want to say just at this point, he is wearing number 6. I will change his number. I'm completely aware that number 6 is retired at West Ham due to Bobby Moore, so that will be changed after this game. I just want to say that bit, but obviously he is wearing number 6 in this game. But obviously unfortunate for youngster to give away a penalty on his debut, but fortunately for him and for West Ham, it didn't result in anything, as the Wycombe player did hit the post and the ball did stay back of the net. And the final chance of the game, Fernandez with a good shot. Unfortunately the keeper was there, made himself big and just got a little nick on it to put it behind for a corner, and then it's Fernandez who looks to swing this one in from the corner. Ball falls into Potts, couldn't quite get anything on it, falls to Kilman, plays it back out to Fernandez. Fernandez cuts inside his man, decent shot on that right foot of his, couldn't quite give a bend on it, and it goes behind for a goal kick, but the game does finish. So we are through to the next round of the FA Cup with a 4-2 victory, and there's confirmation of Guilherme's injury. 3 months with a torn quadricep muscle. Obviously he's not a first team player, so we're not going to miss him too much, but obviously not a nice one for a young player to get. And we do get a couple of messages from Prince and Kilman as well, as we would expect. Obviously Prince after his debut was really happy with that one. And then, like I said, we do change his number. Obviously completely aware that number 6 is retired at West Ham, so we did go in and change Reece Prince's number, and we did change him, as we have done with the 2 youth academy players we've got so far. Change him to in the 40s, number 49 for him, and he does have a new number for us. And we did just look to renew George Earthy's contract once again, due to obviously that goal. He's been playing well whenever he comes in for us, but unfortunately he's still not in a position that he wants to renew his contract. And then before we do round out this episode, we do have a game against Bournemouth, but before that we do have our first unexpected event. And if I'm being honest, this is the most unexpected event I could imagine, if I'm being honest. Have a go in the comments below if you can sort of guess what this one's going to be. You'll see it in just a second once I go through the tutorial. It's a results ultimatum. We've got obviously a game against Bournemouth coming up. They have basically said I have to win the game, otherwise I have no future at West Ham United. So again, the most unexpected sort of position ever, but it's one we'll definitely have to take seriously, and we'll have to see at the start of the next episode if we do keep our job with a win at Bournemouth. That's going to bring this episode to an end. As always, please comment down below any suggestions. Please subscribe to follow the journey. Like the video if you have liked it and got this far. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one.